Hello, how are you? Welcome back to ShowNewTrend. I'm host of today, and my name is Elvis Daring.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
This is true Trump derangement syndrome. Since Monday, we have seen pregnant women on social media eating Tylenol because Trump said it was not good to take it while you're pregnant. So they wanted to own Trump, and a bunch of them took it while they were pregnant. Sadly, it appears one woman is on a ventilator. According to a nurse, Nicole Sirotek, she's also the founder of American Frontline Nurses. She got a frantic call from her husband, 4 o'clock in the morning. This woman had taken a bunch of Tylenol. She's 23 to 25 weeks pregnant, and she's now on a ventilator and expected to pass away soon. It's a sad reminder that your Trump derangement syndrome could kill you. This couple has other children as well, so they're going to lose their mother. This guy's going to lose his wife, maybe her baby. He's got to make a tough decision on whether or not to deliver the baby premature and hope that it survives. It spends months and months in the NICU. But in order to prove Trump wrong, this woman took a deadly dose of Tylenol while she was pregnant. You guys have got to chill out. You got three and a half more years of Trump. Don't kill anyone else.
Just so we can stop all the debate on this, even fucking Tylenol itself tells you not to take it while pregnant. Like, this is the actual fucking company. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Like, this isn't Trump. This isn't RFK. This is fucking Tylenol. They are telling you, don't take their shit while pregnant. But you guys are actually downing fucking Tylenol while pregnant to refute Trump? Like, do you know that yesterday a woman died from liver failure because she took an overdose of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong? She's dead. Her baby is dead because she wanted to tell Trump he was wrong. So, you know what? Here's what I recommend. Liberal pregnant women, if you're not going to have an abortion, I really hope you take Tylenol. I really hope that you want to get rid of all your headaches and you take Tylenol. Large, humongous fucking doses of it. Gobble it up, to prove Trump wrong.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
Like, what's wrong with you? Honestly, like, what's wrong with you? What happened to women? Something happened. Tylenol even tweeted, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Congrats on your upcoming edition. So exciting. It'll be great to touch base real quick since we haven't tested Tylenol to be used during pregnancy. With studies and more studies. I get some people are very weak-minded and they can be influenced to be outraged at certain things when they're told to be outraged. But how can any mother, woman, say they love their children so much while putting them at risk simply to make a political point and to get likes and views on social media? And I'll just reiterate my question. What is wrong with you? A pharmaceutical drug is a pharmaceutical drug and should be taken with extreme caution, just as a regular person, much less to be blessed to be pregnant, carrying a baby, and you are the only protector of that baby, and you're downing pharmaceutical drugs and be like, fucking lucky.
So it's about, it's going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from husband, whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU, because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol. And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the three most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with, so I don't get censored. But now people are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. I mean, weren't these the same people who put Harvard and Fauci and the pillars of science on a pedestal? And now they refuse to believe it. Like, I don't believe it either. But I'm also not going to go overdose on Tylenol either. And it's just so sad because he has to make the choice of them going and trying to emergency deliver this baby. And the baby may not survive. The baby's going to spend a long time in the NICU. Hopefully the baby will survive. And remember, guys, preemies have complications even if they do survive. I didn't ask him if he had more children. So, I mean, let's say this woman they had more children. They lost their mother. Baby's not going to grow up with the mom. He lost his whole life if this baby dies too. All because of TikTok challenges, guys. Everybody wants, well, not everybody, but maybe these crazy liberal women. They, literally hate Trump so bad that she killed herself and her baby, potentially.
To the pregnant women downing Tylenol right now as a spite to Trump and RFK, I really highly urge you to do any lick of research, because if you did, you would know that Tylenol has been involved in billions and billions of dollars worth of lawsuits since just the 90s for fetal abnormality, liver failure, neurological deficits in the unborn child. Did you know that according to the National Institute of Health, over 50% of annual liver failures have a direct link to Tylenol? Did you also know that over 20% of liver transplants every single year have a direct link to Tylenol as well? No, probably not, because again, there are a lot of things your doctors do not tell you, and way too many lawsuits have been targeted at J&J for this very reason. Trump did not say, if you take Tylenol, you're gonna give your baby autism. He didn't say, stop taking Tylenol. He didn't say, we're taking Tylenol off the shelf. He said verbatim, you have the choice to take whatever you want, just do it with your doctor and be cautious. And that angers some of you so much that even with scientific evidence from over 10 reputable medical universities, some of the best in the world, and our own health institutes also citing data as to how Tylenol has historically been incredibly dangerous and that J&J has failed to disclose these issues, you will still call Trump incompetent and wrong. No, you shouldn't take medical advice from anyone that doesn't have a medical degree or isn't a scientist or isn't a researcher. But there might be a reason that all of these reputable institutions have not only done these studies for numerous decades now, but have also had specific findings. There's also a reason that Tylenol is one of the most common poisonings in our country every single year, because even under doctor's advice, and even if you take the perfect dosage, it's incredibly easy to overdose. And because of this, way too many people have. Again, one of the most common poisonings every single year. There also might be a reason that the NIH is telling you, hey, it can do a lot of damage, please be careful. That has nothing to do with Trump. And just because Trump is the one saying it and you hate him, doesn't mean you should discredit everything else. And it doesn't mean that if you are pregnant, you should go fisting a bottle of Tylenol. That is absurd. If you hate Trump more than you love your baby, that is something you need to sort out with a therapist, not take Tylenol for. But you've made it clear that you don't care about the unborn anyway, because according to you, it's just a worthless clump of cells, right? So why would you even care what Trump would say about pregnancy and autism anyway?
I've seen too many videos today of pregnant women downing Tylenol, I guess in an effort to own or spite President Trump. Let me show you just a few.
To take Tylenol for my headache while pregnant because I don't take my medical advice from a man who doesn't have a degree in science, healthcare, or medicine.
Imagine hating Trump more than you love your own child. Also, what are the odds these people who talk about believing and trusting the science believe that men can get pregnant? Because this is the Assistant Secretary of Health under the previous administration. Like, y'all were taking advice from a man who thinks he's a woman. If you watched the press conference where Trump talked about this, like I did yesterday, Trump very clearly says, talk to your doctors, let them advise you, make your own choices. If you can refrain, you probably should, but if you need to take Tylenol, do it, but not in excess. And it's not just Trump saying that. This is a study from Harvard, the bastion of liberalism that is Harvard, okay? And here's a study from Johns Hopkins. All Trump said is that autism rates and the usage of Tylenol during pregnancy are linked. He didn't say it's the only thing that can cause autism in children, and he didn't say it's a guarantee that it will cause autism. If Trump says that oxygen is good, I am convinced that there are people out there who would suffocate themselves.
If you guys want to take away abortion rights, if you want to tell us that we can't take painkillers while pregnant because it causes autism, if you want to take all this shit away, take away my right to work. Take away my fucking right to have a fucking job. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. Okay? I don't care about women's suffrage, frankly, after everything else. Okay, I don't mean it like that. You guys get what I'm saying. If you're gonna take away anything, take away my right to work. I will gladly sit at home and make a fucking sandwich if it means I don't have to go outside in this public hellhole every single fucking day where everyone's a psycho MAGA. I can't take this anymore. You're telling me that pregnant women can't take over-the-counter painkillers? How does that make sense?
Why are pregnant liberal women taking Tylenol to prove a point? Probably because they're also taking other medications just to not lose their mind all the way. And that Tylenol is the least of their concerns. For a lot of women who are on antipsychotics, and why am I bringing this up? Because mental illness is a big issue on the left. It's a very big issue. You can look up multiple research studies. Leftists are more likely to have mental health issues than people on the right. This is documented. You can also go look up what is the advice from doctors for women who are on antipsychotics as far as if they should stop taking those when they are pregnant. The advice is for them not to stop taking it because the risk of them losing their mind is greater than whatever risk that baby's going to have as a result of the parent being on antipsychotics. So these women probably could care less about taking something as simple as a Tylenol when they're on like heavy, really serious medications that they're taking every day just so they don't unalive themselves, unalive somebody else, or become so incredibly psychotic that they don't know what reality is. And that doesn't mean that they really know what reality is, even with the medication. They're just in a manageable range. So I think that, like I said, guys, you all keep assuming that you're observing normal people, and you're not. These are not normal people. And I am not being judgmental towards anybody with mental health issues, but the loud left who's battling mental health issues and trying to make it seem like they are the normal majority, that bothers me to no end. They are not normal. They are not in a good place. These are not people to look to and be like, oh my God, why would they do that? Because they're not in a good place. They're not sound. They're not of sound mind. And like I said, they're willing to take that Tylenol because they know they're taking a ton of other stuff just to be able to act normal. And the key word is act.
If you're pregnant, please use Tylenol for pain and fevers. Please don't suffer, and don't listen to people who can't say the word acetaminophen telling you what you should do. At the end of the day, Tylenol is safe and effective, and there's no new data coming out suggestive of causing autism, and it's been studied extensively and not found to cause autism. So please utilize it. The same goes for vaccines. There's nothing suggestive of a link between those and autism. The fact that you're diagnosing something more frequently because of better diagnostic criteria and better awareness does not indicate that that is actually increasing due to something else that we've increased the utilization of. So please be careful with this line of thinking and look at the better, bigger studies that are being utilized by the actual experts and professionals to make these recommendations.
I took Tylenol as needed in moderation in all 3 of my pregnancies.
Hi, Dr. Sterling. Never seen you until just now because I'm researching that if I'm really hearing these rumors are true, that pregnant women are literally in protest taking Tylenol while pregnant because they hate Donald Trump and RFK Jr. that bad that they would be willing to put their unborn babies at risk. And so I watched your whole video and you're saying, well, these studies are inconclusive. And then you go on and say that during your pregnancy, you took Tylenol during all 3 of your pregnancies. So what you're basically saying here is it's safe, right? I mean, could Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Princeton, could they all be wrong? Well, how about Tylenol themselves? Let's see what Tylenol has to say. Shall we, Dr. Sterling? Tylenol took to social media and actually posted this on X, formerly known as Twitter. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you are no fan of President Trump, nor are you a fan of RFK Jr. I'm also going to go out on a limb here and say that you definitely voted for Kamala. And I'm going to go on another limb here and say that you would overlook all of the studies done by Ivy League schools and the statement that Tylenol themselves made simply because of your hatred for Donald Trump. Hey, pregnant ladies, let me just say, if Tylenol themselves is saying that they don't recommend taking acetaminophen when you are pregnant, no matter what anyone says, if the manufacturer of the drug themselves comes out and says, we do not recommend taking this medication while you're pregnant, perhaps your hatred for Trump should not supersede your common sense and your ability to care for your unborn child. But hey, who am I? Just some conservative MAGA lady who gives a shit if your unborn child comes out all kinds of screwed up.
Y'all, this doesn't surprise me one bit. Liberals have a long history of not valuing human life, as we all know. But now they're willing to jeopardize their unborn children's health just to spite Trump. It's honestly like they're in a race to the bottom of the stupidity barrel. These are the same types of people who literally celebrate the death of conservatives like Charlie Kirk and who cheer on abortion, including late term. And now apparently they're downing large amounts of Tylenol while they're pregnant just to spite Trump and RFK Jr. Why would we think for a second that harming their own baby's life would even register on their morality radar? And let's savor the absolute madness. These self-proclaimed woke experts are downing Tylenol, laughing in the face of science, risking their own babies just because Trump said it's bad. Next, they'll be letting their toddlers play in traffic because it's a political statement, or drinking bleach because Fauci said it's okay, all in the name of standing against Trump. Moral compass, completely broken. Their logic, non-existent. And their babies, absolutely collateral damage and their personal vendetta against reality. You can't rationalize with an irrational group of people. They just are completely blinded by hatred and pride, and nothing is going to get through to them. So all we can do is pray and keep our families safe, because these people are unhinged and they are convinced that they have the moral high ground and that we are subhuman and evil. And just stay awake and keep your head on a swivel. That's all I can tell you.
Hi, if you are pregnant and downing Tylenol right now because of the news that came out on Monday and you think you're sticking it to them, no, you actually have Munchausen by proxy and you are tagging yourself as a future child abuser.
Please don't make fun of the Tylenol warnings, guys, because I took Tylenol when I was pregnant with my son in copious amounts because I just couldn't tough out the fevers. And I want you to see how he turned out, so you don't make the same mistake.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. See you in the next one. Bye bye.